Amara Cole, a name synonymous with innovation and generosity, was a billionaire tech entrepreneur who had built her empire from scratch. Known for her humility, Amara often avoided the limelight, preferring to focus on her charitable work. Today, however, she sought something different: normalcy. Dressed in casual jeans and a simple sweatshirt, she parked her modest sedan in the lot of a local supermarket in Palo Alto, California. She had no bodyguards, no assistants, and no drivers, just herself, a shopping list, and a desire to blend in. As she entered the store, the buzz of daily shoppers surrounded her. For once, she felt invisible, a welcome change from the usual attention that came with her name. Amara moved through the aisles, picking up fresh produce, a loaf of sourdough bread, and a small bottle of premium olive oil. She smiled as she observed mothers juggling their kids and grocery carts, young couples debating over pasta brands, and elderly shoppers leisurely browsing the shelves. It was an ordinary day, and she was thrilled to be a part of it. As she approached the self-checkout, she scanned her items carefully. But as her hand reached for her wallet, she noticed something odd: a flashing light at the exit, followed by the sharp blare of an alarm. The sound startled Amara, but she brushed it off, assuming it was a routine technical glitch. However, before she could continue, a store security guard approached her, his eyes narrowing. "Ma'am, I need you to step aside," he said curtly, his tone devoid of politeness. Amara frowned in confusion. "Is something wrong?" she asked, her voice calm but puzzled. The guard held up a hand. "You've triggered the alarm. Please come with me." Shoppers stopped in their tracks, their eyes drawn to the commotion. Amara felt the weight of their stares as the guard grabbed her arm. "Excuse me, but I don't understand," she began. "I paid for everything." The guard wasn't convinced. He pulled out a bottle of olive oil from her bag. "This wasn't scanned." "You're trying to steal an $11 bottle of olive oil?" he asked incredulously. Amara's mouth fell open. "That's not true. I scanned it. Check the system." But the guard had already made up his mind. He motioned for another employee, who arrived with handcuffs. "We have a policy here, ma'am. Shoplifters will be detained until the police arrive." The humiliation struck her like a physical blow. As the cuffs clicked around her wrists, Amara could see the judgment on the faces of the onlookers. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Amara sat on a cold metal bench in the back of the store, her hands bound in cuffs. The security guard stood nearby, glaring at her as if she were a common criminal. Every passing second felt like an eternity. "Do you have any idea who I am?" Amara finally said, her voice firm but still composed. The guard scoffed. "Let me guess, some big shot who thinks the rules don't apply to them?" Amara's lips tightened. "I've done nothing wrong. You'll see that soon enough." Outside, a small crowd had gathered, curious to see the shoplifter being led away. Smartphones recorded every moment as Amara was escorted toward the entrance, flanked by 2 security guards. The humiliation burned deep, but she kept her head high, refusing to let the situation break her composure. Just as the police arrived, Amara's assistant, who had been notified of her absence, showed up. "Ms. Cole," the assistant shouted, running to her side. "What's going on here?" The police officers, unaware of who they were dealing with, began questioning Amara. "Do you have any ID on you, ma'am?" one officer asked. Amara nodded toward her bag. "It's in there. You'll find everything you need." The officer retrieved her wallet and froze when he saw her driver's license. His eyes darted to Amara's face, recognition dawning. "Amara Cole," he said, his tone shifting from suspicion to shock. The security guard stepped forward. "What does it matter who she is? She still stole." "She didn't steal anything," the assistant interrupted sharply. "Do you even know who you just detained? She's Amara Cole, one of the most respected philanthropists in the country." The officer quickly checked the store's security footage. Sure enough, it showed Amara scanning all her items, including the olive oil. The system had glitched, failing to register the scan. The store manager rushed to the scene, his face pale. Ms. Cole, we are so sorry for this misunderstanding, he stammered. Please accept our deepest apologies. Amara looked at him, her expression unreadable. You should be apologizing to every person who has been treated like this but doesn't have the privilege of proving their innocence, she said quietly. The words hung in the air, and the manager had no response. Amara was uncuffed, but the damage had been done. The crowd outside cheered as they realized who she was, but Amara wasn't there for applause. Later that evening, Amara reflected on the incident. It wasn't just about her. How many others had faced similar humiliation without a platform to fight back? She decided that this moment of disgrace would not define her, it would drive her to create change. Amara launched a nationwide initiative, Dignity for All, aimed at combating systemic bias and promoting accountability in institutions. Her story went viral, sparking conversations about fairness, respect, and the dangers of assumptions. Through interviews and public speeches, Amara shared her experience, not as a billionaire but as a human being subjected to injustice. Her humility and grace inspired millions, turning her moment of humiliation into a movement for change. The supermarket incident became a pivotal point in Amara's life, not as a stain on her reputation but as a catalyst for progress. In the end, she proved that even in the face of injustice, resilience and grace could light the way forward.